the next generation, the current generation, and the next generation decide the future. The the older generation does not. That's the way history has always been. The older generation resists change on average, is stubborn, and wants it to be as it was. They want it to be like it was again. It will never be. Life changes. And so the older generation, if they say things like, oh, socialism's bad, or this is bad, or that's bad, too bad for them. Because they don't get to decide the future. The current and the next generation decide the future. And what you will find is that you get to decide what you like and what you don't, what you adapt to and what you don't. Just like they fought the horses. Industrial revolution is bad. We don't want new cars. We don't want, the robots will take all the machines will take our jobs. How many people are riding horses now? Things change. And just because your parents voted a certain way, just because they have a certain mindset towards whatever ism, socialism, universal health care, whatever, too bad. Because you know what? On average, they're going to be dead soon. And we're going to be dead when we're their age soon. So the bottom line is, you think for yourself. You don't vote like your parents. Because your parents are still holding on to the past. They don't realize they're headed for a brick wall. This world is temporary. And the next and the current generation decide the roadmap for the future. Moses didn't make it to the promised land. Moses died on a rock. It was Joshua and the next generation that made it to the promised land. The older generation died out. And they were stubborn. They resisted for change. Even Moses said, take me, I'm done with this. The next generation, you decide if you want universal health care. You decide if you want a level of socialism. The older generation and the people that have lived very well for a long time, it may be a little bit different for them in the future. And you have the right to change that. You have the right to say, I don't give a fuck. You know what? Social Security is a level of socialism, and I like that. You know what? They want to subsidize corporations. They want to bring their tax rate down, but they don't want to increase minimum wage. Well, you know what? I want universal health care. Let the corporations, some of the money they're saying, let them pay for health care for the whole entire country. Period. And if you don't like it, too bad. And it'll take time. It'll take time. Believe me, the older generation's fighting. They're fighting to their stubborn ways and to what they've been taught since you were very young. This is what you do. You pledge allegiance, you do this, and it may be different in the future. You know why? Because the older generation will die off. And the current and the next generation decides the future. And that's how it's always been throughout history. You know, the problem is you look 10, 20, you look at one lifetime and you think you can tell the future. You can't. Look, 200 years ago. You think the generation 200 years ago thought we'd be where we were today? Hell no. The founding fathers didn't even, the founding fathers had slavery. I mean, so, look, the bottom line is, in the Constitution was a lot of bullshit too. So what you'll find in the future is you write your own history. And that's how life is. Your parents had their time. When you were 0 to 18, your parents told you what to do, how to think, and what to how to go to school, what to wear, who to date, what to do. When you're 18, you're an adult. You make your own damn decisions. And if your parents don't like it, let them turn over in their grave. Because you know what? You have the right to define your own life. And this generation and the next generation can make this country or anything whatever they want. And when their time is up, the generation after them will do the same thing. You define your life. And the next generation defines theirs, and it continues. Get involved. And you be your own voice. And if some people don't like it, they want to make things like it was again, too bad. Because life expectancy is 78 years old. And it's older in places that have universal health care. Okay? So, if you don't like it, too bad. Because eventually, everybody's going. Even me. We all go in this world. So you shape this world. How you want it to be. And the next generation does the same. Stand up. Stand up and rise. The older generation doesn't shape the world. It's the current and the new one. And it's been like that since the beginning of time. Since the days of Moses. Never forget it. Moses didn't make it to promised land. Joshua did. The next generation did. They defined their future. Okay? Stay inspired.